Hello everyone and welcome to Khan's Tech Lab. As you already know, we are working on a new technology called Docker, and we have dedicated a series for this Docker in our YouTube channel Khan's Tech Lab. And we already covered two sessions. The first session was about how to install the Docker desktop, and the second session was to learn a few basic Docker commands such as version and login and logout, etc. Now in this third session, we will learn a few important things. So further, let me open this Docker home. This is the official document and official page of the Docker. From here, we will open the documentation. And if you want, you can see from docs.docker.com. We will just revise what we have already learned. So as you can see here, Docker is an open platform for developing, shipping, and running applications. You can develop the application in your local machine and then create a build, which we call here as image, and send it to the production environment, and just you have to run there, and a image when it is running, it is called as container. Now, what is a container? This is also the official document. I will just walk you through a small example what Docker is saying. So they are saying, suppose you have a web application where you have React as the front end and Python API as the back end. And to connect to the database, you have a PostgreSQL database. Now, if you want to work on project and if you want to make sure you and your team are using the same versions, how can you make sure that? And there may occur so many issues like we discussed earlier, like versions or databases or configurations or network, anything. So to ensure everything will work on all the environments and to manage the potential conflicts, we use containers. First point. Then what is the container? It is nothing but it is an isolated process. This is to be reminded. It is an isolated process. You cannot edit it. It is just running. And so for each component of your mod application, you can create one container. For example, you have three parts here. You have React as the UI front end and Python as the Python API as the backend and PostgreDB as the DB. For every component, you can create one container which can communicate between each other. And every container will run in its own isolated environment, completely isolated from other environment and anything else on the machine. There are a few important things to note. One is it is self-contained. It will have everything what it requires inside it. So it is like you have a computer which has everything what it needs and it is isolated. It's not, dependent on others. Like here it is saying independent and also portable. You can run the containers anywhere. Now, as you know, Docker concept is very similar to virtual machines. So, what you have in the virtual machine? So they are also, even the Docker team also, they are explaining us what we have in container and what we have in a Docker. So I will just open a small image to show you what are the differences between a Docker and a virtual machine. As you can see here, here is the traditional virtual machine where you have the infrastructure, the servers. On top of that, they will have one hypervisor. On one hypervisor, you can run any number of VMs. One VM for with Windows, one with Linux, one with Ubuntu, etc. But suppose you want to run only one small application, very, very small application. So if you want to use a VM for that, it is too costly. It is too heavy. and you cannot rely on that. It is unnecessary. So here comes the Docker, where you will have one small infrastructure, and on that you have operating system, need not to be dedicated, and on top of the operating system, you will have the Docker layer where you can have the container software. This container software is a Docker. There are alternatives also for that, but Docker is the proven software. Then all the containers, every application can be one container. So what is the difference? So there need not to be a dedicated machine for one container. One small application can run on any of the machine. Now coming back to the official document, we saw what are the containers. So now we will read about image. Image, when once it run, it will become a container. So you can call container as a living image. So now, as we read the container process, we learned it is an isolated process. And now the question arises, where does it get its files and configurations? If you want to share a container with some other machine, how will you share it? You cannot share the running image. You cannot share the running container. Here comes the images. So we will read the official document here. A container is an image. A container image is a standardized package kind of build that includes all the files, binaries, libraries, configuration, everything that required to run a container. Suppose you are running a container, you want to run a container on another machine, you just have to take that image, which includes all the files, for example, application.properties, all the binaries like war files, all the libraries like all the Maven dependencies, all the configurations, everything we will load into one build and we will package them and we will send it to the other machine where we will run it again as a container, which which whose performance will be as it is as in the first machine. Now we understood two things, container and image. I will just deep dive into a few commands to show you how the image works. In the upcoming video, we will work on the containers also. In this video session, we will just discuss the image level commands. First, I will show you the Docker pull command. So, as we already saw in the previous session, there will be a repository. It, there will be open repositories, open source repositories in the Docker Hub, and also you can create your own repository in your hub. Now, suppose, as you can see here, there are no images in this private repository, in the Hanstech Lab repository. I will just explore here. And also I will show you, there is a command here, Docker images. This command is used to list all the Docker images that are currently available on your system. Means, first let me show you what and all images are there in my local machine by using this Docker images command. As you can see, there are no images. There is one more command which is Docker image ls, which will also give me the same result. Just added to inform you. Now, what I will do is I will pull one image. For example, I want to run MySQL in my local machine using Docker. So I will just search in the Docker Hub about MySQL, and you can see here, there are a few images. I can use any image I want. I have selected this first one. So as we have searched this MySQL in the Docker Hub, we need not to go to the UI every time. We can do it in the command prompt as well. And the command for it is Docker search. The same MySQL, I will search in the command prompt using this command. As you can see here, there are a few MySQL images listed. Let me compare this with the one we got it from this list. As you can see, there is actual MySQL and there is a Bitnami MySQL, then there is a Circle CI MySQL, everything. If you can see here, the same list is being displayed here. So one command to learn from here is Docker search MySQL, which will give us the same result as searching in the Docker Hub filter. Now we have covered this command first. I will make it green in order to remember. Okay. Now I will just pull this MySQL command. I will go inside this and you can see here Docker pull MySQL is the command which we can copy from here, and let me try to run it. As you already know, we have listed there is no image. Now I am pulling this image. As you can see, we have successfully pulled the MySQL image. Now let me rerun this image command. As you can see, we are getting one image. We have downloaded one image which was altered a couple days ago, and it is having 1.17 GB of size. Now let me go to the list of the commands where we have covered this Docker pull. Now we have listed and also we have searched, we have pulled. We can run this image in the form of container, which we will discuss in the upcoming sessions. Now, for instance, I want to push this Docker image to my personal private Docker repository, which is this one. So let me go to my hub and my repository. As you can see, here they have given one command. I will just copy this and I will just alter this before I copy. I use it. Sorry, I think it didn't got copied. Let me copy again. Copy. And let me just paste it somewhere so that I can just use it. So now, as you can see here in the list, the repository is MySQL and the tag is latest. Now, let me add the tag as let me tag it first before I push it. So there is a method that I can tag it. Let me show you that. So here is the command to tag Now let me first tag it. So here we will alter this command. The source image is MySQL, and I will tag it with, sorry, the source image is MySQL colon latest, and I will tag it with this Sufyan Docker const teclab and colon MySQL. Now let me show you. I have created one more tag of this MySQL image. Basically, it is a new image that has been created. Now this image to my repository with this push command. First, I will copy this and I will change the tag name to MySQL. As you see, the image got pushed. Let me try to refresh this. As you can see, the MySQL image has been pushed less than a minute ago. So here is the repository and tag. So this is how we will push the images to the repositories. So now we have covered this command, which is push command. Let me mark it as green. Suppose if you want to know the history of an image, what and all changes it went. Let me first clean this. So very simple. You have to first let me pull the images. Docker, history, and image ID you have to give. So as you can see, these are all changes it went in the last few days. So now the next, now we have covered this history command also. Then we have the one more, which is RMI, which is used to remove the image. For example, I want to remove one image, the first one. So the command is docker RMI MySQL, the name. So let us see if it got deleted or not. So you can see here now the list is getting only one, which is Sophia and Docker, then MySQL tag. So this is how we can remove the Docker images. One command is left, which is commit, which we will discuss once we start using the container. Hope you understood the image commands and a few basic concepts of container and images. We will discuss more about the containers also in the next videos, in the next sessions. One thing I forgot to show you, one small demonstration, how it looks. So this is the computer layer. Then we have the OS layer. Then we have the Docker layer. Then we have image or container image, which once run becomes container. So hope you like the video. If you like the video, please do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.